Okay, Algebra 1, Part 1. Day 6 notes is all about factoring, alright? Factoring completely out of the directions. When it says factor completely, that pretty much means there's more than one step to your factoring. Alright, it doesn't come right down and say factor out the GCF or factor or unfoil, anything like that. It just says factor completely. So you gotta start checking for some things on your own. Some steps if you want to follow these steps, right? Anytime you're factoring, you always want to factor out the GCF first. Except today, that's not going to be the only step, right? Most likely there's going to be more than one step. All right, take out the GCF if it's greater than 1. And then we're going to try to factor into 2 binomials. All right, there's a couple of different ways to do that. You could do unfoil, right? You get 2 binomials. You could also do dots, all right? So it could be unfoiling or dots. Either one will get you 2 sets of binomials. Let's just try a couple of these odds on day 6 for now. All right, day 6, 7, 8, and 9 in the notes. If you had the notes, they would all be pretty much the same thing over and over. Let's just do day 6. All right, see how it goes. Let's do number 1, 3x squared plus 15x plus 12. All right, first of all, you have a trinomial here. Always check for GCF. There's no x here, so I can't take an x out. But I have a 3, 15, and a 12. 3 goes into 15. 3 goes into 12, so I can take a 3 out. There's my GCF. And when we factor it out, we have to write down what's left. All right, 3 times what gives you 3x squared? That has to be x squared. All right, you can also think of it as division. 15 divided by 3 is 5, or 5x in this case. 12 divided by 3 is 4. If I distribute this out, it has to be the same thing written differently. All right, so we took out the GCF, and now can that be factored any further? Look at the parentheses here, x squared plus 5x plus 4. Most likely, that will factor out, because this is all practice for day 6. It's a trinomial. Let's try to unfoil this. All right, remember foil, first times the first, x times x is x squared. And then we want to jump to that last term. Factors of 4 that add to be a 5. Okay, so factors of 4 could be 4 and 1 or 2 and 2. 2 and 2 does not give me a 5 though. Something that's got to be a 4 and a 1. And how do I get to a 5? Well, it has to be a positive 4 and a positive 1. All right, some of you have your own way of doing that now. That works for you. Whatever works, use that. All right. That's it. You've just factored completely. So 2 steps for almost all these. Let's try a couple more odds. X cubed minus 7x squared minus 18x. All right, looking over, is there a GCF? I have x in every term, so I know there's an x. Nothing else though. So I'm gonna take that x out. Take away 1x from each term, so this will be x squared minus 7x minus 18. Can I go any further? Does the parentheses unfoil in this case? Let's try it. I'm going to have 2 parentheses. I know x times x is x squared. Remember, don't be afraid to show more work. Off on a side. 18 is my number. Factors of 18, that would give me a 7. 1 and 18, not going to work. How about 2 and 9? All right, 3 and 6 is also factors of 18, but 2 and 9, I can get a 7 out of those. All right, so I'm going to use this pair. Some of you like to do the signs first. I do the signs at the end. I know a 2 and a 9 is going to give me a 7. I needed them to subtract to be a negative 7, though, if I read this backwards. Those 2 numbers need to subtract to give me a negative 7. So the larger one has to be negative. The negative 9 plus 2. All right, will give you a negative 7x. You could FOIL all this out. All right, remember each thing is the same thing written differently. Be careful with your signs. Number 5 looks a little bit different. If looking at the odds, 6x squared minus 12x. It's only 2 terms. It's a binomial already. There is a GCF though. There's 6. I know 6 goes into 12. There's an x in both of these also. I'm going to take a 6x out of here. Let's see what's left. Remember, factoring out a GCF is almost the same as dividing by 6x. You can write that right in there if you need to. 6x squared over 6x, so that's just an x. 12x divided by 6x, that's just a 2. All right, make sure you write down both things. Those are both factors, even though there's no parentheses around the 6x. Can you go any further? X minus 2 was in parentheses. Right? There's nothing left you can do with that one. It's not a dots. Right? It's not even x squared here, so you can't break that down any further. That is your answer. Just one step, so sometimes a little bit different. That's good. Let's do a couple more. Number 7. 6a squared minus 6b squared. All right, got two variables in here. Look for a GCF though. I got a 6 in each of these. Let's take that out. What's left if I take away the 6 in each one? I got a squared minus b squared. All right. Can this set of parentheses be broken down any further? Well, a squared minus b squared, that's a binomial, two terms. It's actually a dots. It's a difference of two squares. All right, it's two things being squared. It's a minus sign here. So I know this can be broken down. Some people like to write dots every time they see it. It's a good reminder. All right, remember the dots. That means you almost want to take the square root of each. All right, what times what gives you a squared? That's a times a. What times what gives you b squared? That's going to be b times b. And when we did this, 1's always plus, 1's always minus. That way those middle terms cancel out and gives you back that binomial. All right, that was a little bit trickier. Number 9, if we're going down the page here, 8y squared minus 12y. Looks kind of like number 5. Let's see if it's the same idea. Look for a GCF. 8y squared minus 12y. 8, 12. I know 4 goes into both. They both have a y. Let's take out a 4y. So some of you are thinking, let's divide both by 4y. Right? Factoring out GCF is the same as dividing. We're going to write that 4y out front, though. We're not going to lose it. 8 divided by 4 is 2. I need one more y to get y squared. 12y divided by 4y is just 3. Can I go any further? 2y minus 3 is left in parentheses. All right, first of all, it's a binomial. Nothing's squared, though, so it's not a dots. That's it, as far as it goes. All right, there's a few on the next page. If you had the notes, let's try a couple more. Almost done. All right, number 11. 3x squared minus 6x minus 9x. I'm not even sure if that's a typo or not. Those are like terms. 6x minus 9x. You can actually rewrite this as 3x squared. All right, minus 6 minus 9, that's at minus 15x. It's the same thing. There's different ways of doing this, I guess. Look at the GCF. I know 3 goes into 15. They both have x's. Let's take a 3x out. All right, factor out a 3x. Some of you think division. I think is 3x times what gives me 3x squared. I know 3x times x gives me 3x squared. So now this is the same as this if I distribute. Minus sign, bring that down. 3x times what gives me back 15x? Well, it's got to be times 5. Again, in your parentheses, it's only two terms. Nothing is squared. It's not a dots. You're done. Number 13, last one of the odds in the notes. 4x to the 4th minus 64x squared. A little bit bigger numbers here. I'll give you some hints though. 4 does go into 64. I have x to the 4th and x to the 2nd. I know they both have at least x squared. So I'm going to take a 4x to the 2nd out. All right, so 4x squared times what gives me 4x to the 4th? You're thinking, hopefully thinking x squared. 4 times what gives you 64? Should be 16. I already have the x squared, so I don't need any more x's. All right, again, this takes practice. Get used to this. Some of you, we're going to have to bet. You see x squared minus 16. It's only two terms, but x squared, that's something squared, right? That's x squared. Minus the 16. 16 is something squared. That's 4 squared. So this is a dots in parentheses. All right, again, just takes practice doing this, getting used to seeing those things. This factors further. All right, leave the 4x squared out front. That doesn't go away. When it's a dots, two sets of parentheses. I know x times x is x squared. 4 times 4 is 16. with dots, ones plus, ones minus. All right, it takes practice, not that easy. All right, there's day 6 odds. You might want to try the evens. Day 7, 8, 9 are very similar. You can try those if you want to challenge yourself.